The movie opens as we see a large Hummer driving through a busy city. The Hummer belongs to NBA star Jamal Jeffries, as he heads to his game. He pulls into the stadium and is immediately surrounded by his fans. A kid asks for his autograph, but Jamal decides to give him a stamp instead. Get lost, kid. During the game, Jamal is showing off his skills, as the reporters reveal that he is coming off from a 6-game suspension. Despite his skill, Jamal constantly gets into altercations and fouls his opponent. His coach wants to substitute him, but Jamal refuses to leave the court and gets into a yelling match with his coach. He proudly tells the coach that he is the team and that he can do better on another team. His coach fires him on the spot, and Jamal decides to protest by taking off his clothes and giving the fans their money's worth. The NBA is in an uproar as the players and reporters weigh in on how irresponsible Jamal is. While the basketball commission deliberates on what to do with Jamal, he is partying up at his large mansion with girls. His girlfriend Tina looks on in disgust, but reveals that she is just with him for his money and the house. Jamal gets a call, and it turns out to be his Aunt Ruby, who chews him out for his stupid behavior. The basketball commission then announces on the television that Jamal is suspended from the league, and immediately his friends start leaving the party. Jamal then heads over to see his agent Lorne, who reveals to him that his behavior has caused no team in the NBA to want him as a player. He also adds that he is dropping Jamal as his client and wishes him luck. Following this, Jamal's life begins to go downhill. His cars get repossessed and all his furniture gets taken away. Tina then packs her clothes and tells him that she is ditching him now that all his money is gone. He thinks that he was giving her good loving, but she reveals that she packed her batteries for that too. Lorne gives Jamal one more shot by giving him a meeting with the basketball commission. Jamal tries to apologize, however his ego gets the better of him and he rips the commissioner a new one. In the next scene, Jamal is back at his aunt's home playing cards with her friends and trying to fend off a rabid cougar. Aunt Ruby asks him to get groceries and he reluctantly agrees. On his way back, he sees a few kids playing basketball who recognize him. One little girl is not a fan though and calls him washed up. As he watches her play, he gets an idea. He gives Lorne a call on the spot, lying that he found a great basketball player who happens to be a girl, and Lorne is excited. Later, Aunt Ruby comes home to see Jamal dressed in her bra and dress, and demands an answer. He tells Aunt Ruby his plan and she is hesitant at first, but Jamal butters her up. The next day, the WNBA is holding tryouts when Jamal shows up disguised as a woman. The coach puts her in the game and Jamal immediately dominates the court but refuses to pass the ball. After tryouts, Jamal introduces himself as Juwana to Lorne and the coach. She then meets with Lorne, who offers her a contract as a player for the Charlotte Banshees. Jamal waits until Lorne faxes in the contract, then reveals his true identity. Lorne is shocked and refuses to go along, but Jamal convinces him to go through with the plan, or his career as an agent will end if people should find out. The Banshees then have their first match in the WNBA season. Jamal is excited, but Lorne is worried and reminds Jamal that there is no dunking in the league. Meanwhile, R&B star Romeo sings the national anthem and is revealed to be boyfriend of the Banshees star player, Michelle. The game gets underway and the Banshees are playing a good game until one of the players, Natalie, gets injured. Juwana is then given a chance to play on the court and immediately begins to show off her skills, but still will not pass the ball. The Banshees end up losing the match and Michelle wants Juwana kicked off the team, but the coach cannot deny her skill and decides to make Juwana a starting player. Michelle tries to talk to Juwana, but she insists that everybody needs to pass him the ball if they want to win. Michelle is furious as she cannot get past Juwana's ego. As he is leaving, he sees Romeo with another woman. Juwana gets to her car but is approached by a rapper called Smokey Smoke who wants to get some cheeks, but Juwana tells him to get lost. The next day at practice, the coach gets fed up with Juwana hogging the ball and calls a timeout. She tells Juwana that she needs to learn teamwork in order to be a part of the team, and insists that she plays one-on-one against Michelle until she learns. Juwana easily beats Michelle and the two become friends. As they leave, Romeo comes by to pick up Michelle and the two plan to meet up the next day. The following day, Michelle reveals that she has a spa day planned, much to the surprise of Juwana. The two get massages and waxes, much to Juwana's discomfort. The next day, Jamal is late for practice. He hurriedly rushes out, driving and putting on makeup, which attracts the attention of a cop. The cop pulls him over and demands to see his driver's license. The cop sees his name and photo, and Jamal lies that he recently had the surgery done to become a woman. The cop orders him out of the car and Jamal thinks that he is in trouble, but the cop is actually impressed, as he is planning on getting surgery done too. Juwana makes it to the game. She plays well but is constantly hogging the ball. She then accidentally passes the ball, causing Michelle to score. Seeing that the fans, the coach and players love this, Juwana begins passing the ball more often and the Banshees end up winning the game. Later, Juwana is awarded with the game ball and honestly appreciates the congratulations of the teammates. Later, Juwana decides to shower in her jersey, telling her teammates that it is for good luck. Joanna and Michelle then share a hotel room and she asks him for a massage much to his pleasure. The two end up talking about Romeo and Joanna tries to hint at Michelle but Michelle reveals that she has her doubts, but it is better than being alone. Joanna and Michelle then meet up at a club for a double date with Romeo and Smokey, who begins to hit on Joanna immediately. Joanna gets drunk and heads to the bathroom and almost gives an old man a heart attack. Later, Joanna sees Romeo get another girl's number while he and Michelle dance. Romeo decides to spend the night with Michelle and Smokey drops Joanna home. He tries to get inside the house but Joanna politely tells him no. In the next scene, we see how the Banshees have been dominating the season with Joanna becoming a superstar while bonding with her teammates. One night after the game, the players are all gathered when Smokey sends over flowers for Joanna. The girls then talk about what kind of guys they prefer and Joanna spills some secrets to the ladies while learning that women do prefer size. The next day, the team learns that there will be no practice. Instead, there is a sudden physical exam that the team has to attend. Much to Joanna's shock, Joanna is told to disrobe by a doctor that seems a little too happy about his job. The doctor leaves but instead of changing, Joanna finds the team's mascot outfit and leaves the hospital. She heads over to Lorne's office and tells him that he is done with this charade. Lorne tells her that there are so many offers from companies and he could be very rich, but Joanna insists that this was all so that he could get back into basketball as Jamal. Later, we see Michelle walk in on Romeo in bed with another woman acting like he tripped and fell into the cheeks. Michelle tells Joanna, who heads over to Romeo's house to confront him. He thinks he is getting cheeks but gets knocked the F out instead. Joanna and Michelle then sit later at her house as she cries over what happened. Joanna comforts her, and begins falling for her and tries to explain his situation but cannot bring himself to do so. The next day, Jamal meets Lorne as he has set up a meeting with the NBA Commission so that he can get back into the league. However, the meeting is the next day at 3, which is the same time the team is supposed to play, leaving Jamal confused. The next day, the game is supposed to start but Joanna is nowhere to be found, leaving Michelle worried. Jamal calls Lorne to see if the meeting can be rescheduled but the commissioner is already waiting for him. As the announcer calls for Joanna, she runs out deciding to play, causing the commissioner to leave frustrated. The game is underway and the Banshees are playing evenly against the other team. Joanna steals the ball and goes for a dunk, shattering the rim and winning the game. However, her wig falls off and everyone sees that it was Jamal all along. The crowd goes silent and everyone stares in shock, while Smokey, I guess, still wants cheeks. The entire NBA is then in an uproar with the news, the entire team, and Michelle is mad at him. At home, Aunt Ruby tries to console him and tells him to pick himself up. The next game, the Banshees lose the first half and march back to their lockers angrily. Michelle thinks they cannot win without Jamal but he walks in and begins to apologize but Michelle leaves. Jamal explains that he thought the WNBA was a joke but he learned a valuable lesson while with the team. He tells them that they can win without him as they are that good. The Banshees head back to the court and end up winning the match while Jamal walks away pleased. We then see Jamal and Lorne meeting with the NBA Commission but the commissioner is still unimpressed. The women's entire team then barges into the room to show their support for him. Michelle hands him a WNBA ring and gives him a kiss. In the final scene, we see Jamal has returned to the NBA, as the only man to play in both the women's and the men's league. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.